You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, AfterBuzz TV proudly brings to you the best wrestling podcast online. Showtime, Josh Padgett, Ryan Clum, the voice of choice, Christian Rosenberg, and my new BFF, he's taller in person, Dale Rutledge. Hey!
Hot tamales. That was good.
I got the American Males music going in the back here.
Oh man, the best, worst
Greatest
theme music ever
of all time.
We've got great theme music and a very confused audience.
Sing along.
We got another group
Sing
of
along.
people.
American males, American males, American males.
It's easy.
So we are here live here for Monday Night Raw AfterBuzz. Kathy Kelly is out of town. John Loquasto is, I think he's off filming something.
I don't know. He's famous.
He's big time. He's big time. So
He's on national TV every day.
he is.
Yeah.
So I get to hang out with you guys this week.
All right.
I'm excited for it. And we are going to talk about Monday Night Raw for the week of July 29th from Laredo, Texas. Interesting because this is one of the rare opportunities that a Monday Night Raw was taped ahead of time. Since they were been overseas for the last week or so. This is where
Old school. They used to do this back in the 90s. Taped the famous Mick Foley announcement on WCW Nitro was a taped show.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
but the show
they used to
did
tape
and
every other
that's
week.
really what made them decide to go live every week.
And Nitro was winning every week at that point,
Until
right?
until that.
Until they went live. Yeah.
And that switch. Well, they were live one week, and then they basically would tape every other week back then. So they tape on Monday, and then they tape the following week on Tuesday. So everyone would only have to travel to TV every other week.
And
then they switched
Easier
it
on the
up.
wrestlers, for
And
sure.
Nitro was live every week, so Nitro started giving away their results. They started doing all kinds
exactly.
of
It's
So dirty.
starting at the 7:57 or the 8:57, just to get that little head start.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guys here, the fans of Laredo, Texas, they were in for a wrestling marathon because they had the 2-hour SmackDown followed by the 3-hour Raw. So these guys definitely got their money's worth.
Yeah, they did.
Was SmackDown taped beforehand?
This past week's SmackDown was taped
Before the Raw.
right, but at the same place. So
Yeah,
I'm assuming
right.
SmackDown was filmed first.
First, okay.
Wow.
That would make sense.
Because of a chronological progression.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of wrestling.
It is a hell of a lot of wrestling.
Man, that is a long time to.
And we didn't have very many segments tonight. This was wrestling heavy show tonight as well.
Especially, it didn't seem like very heavy in the first hour, but then from there, it just really picked up just match after match after match after match, which is cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's refreshing.
every match was solid tonight. There's nothing that really made you jump out of your seat, like no huge moments like that for the most part. But every match was very entertaining, and every match did it what it was supposed to do.
It was
Solid
solid,
TV.
not memorable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the show starts off with Mr. McMahon and the Raw general manager, Brad Maddox. Maddox comes in the ring and pretty much very deadpan, just like, I'd like to apologize for my boneheaded decision to let John Cena choose his own opponent for SummerSlam. And then pretty much Mr. McMahon, like right after the apology, just kind of like takes the microphone.
Yeah, it was definitely a beaten puppy kind of.
Exactly. What did you do? You bad.
You get out there and tell everyone how stupid you were. That's your punishment.
We're going to have the boss tell the boss to tell everyone that he's stupid.
Yeah.
And Mr. McMahon compares Daniel Bryan to a troll. You know, he's like, well,
Mystical creature.
yeah, a troll is quite frankly a hideously ugly dwarf. And, you know, guys like Daniel Bryan who are trolls like that, they don't have the correct aura, you know, to be a WWE champion, to be someone that should represent the company well. And shockingly, Daniel Bryan then comes down to the ring.
Apparently he didn't like it.
I guess not.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I love how the whole audience was like, yes, yes, yes. And Vince turns to him, I would like all of you to behave yourselves. It's like, yes, heel Vince. I love it. Grampy. Old Gramps.
Yeah. And I also liked once Daniel Bryan got to the ring, McMahon told Maddox, like, leave. Just go. Just get. And look, yes, sir.
You're done here.
And he just left the ring, just like unannounced. And
we really didn't see much of Braddock's after that. I mean, the past couple of Raws have been really Braddock's heavy. This was, I think, that
there's like one or two other segments with him, but they were very short.
Yeah.
He's like GM in name only.
Yeah.
You know, is what he's kind of becoming, which is kind of cool. It's a good story element for that.
It's General Manager Brad Maddox, voiced by Vince McMahon.
Right, yeah.
the puppet master.
He's just a figurehead kind of. No real power.
And, you know, Vince McMahon and Daniel Bryan have this whole kind of conversation of really kind of what the definition of respect is. And, you know, Vince's like, you interrupting me is a lack of respect. And Daniel Bryan's, well, respect is supposed to go two ways here.
Yeah. So he's never given him an ounce of respect.
Yeah, he hasn't given him an ounce of respect in all his years that he's been there. And, you know, clearly, you know, you should do what you always preach, and that's to listen to the WWE Universe on who they want as their next WWE champion. Right. And sure enough,
truth into these promos as well.
More reality into it, which is great.
More old school thoughts, but there was definitely some reality to this.
And, you know, as soon as Cena, because we're talking about how he's going to face Cena, as soon as Daniel Bryan kind of like points to the crowd and everything, you know, it's like, you know, it's up to these people. Of course, everyone's just going nuts for him. You know, even like these guys are already a few hours into their wrestling experience, but they're still at the standing, going yes.
Pretty hot crowd.
Everyone loves the yes.
They love Daniel Bryan. I mean, you mentioned, because we were talking about what's bigger, the yes chant or the height of the what chant, and you think actually yes is bigger.
The yes is better, I think, as far as like conducting the crowd, because it's easier. You don't have to be thinking about all the different things to get the what. All you have to do is do this, and the crowd does it with you. As opposed to Austin, it was kind of with him, but it was on the opposite end, so it was kind of, you know, a little bit of a sing-song back and forth. The yes, he's a conductor with the yes, which is what I think makes it better.
And yes extends into the no and even the C chant. I mean, it just
the C.
So popular. It's been translated.
I'm waiting for the maybe chant.
Well, we have that at MPW.
Oh, that's right, because there's the maybe kid.
Have the maybe kid.
Yeah.
So go maybe.
Will Brett Walters win? Yes, no, maybe.
Speaking of, you actually teamed with my main event co-host this weekend at JJ Steele.
JJ Steele, yeah.
You guys rocked the house, I heard.
Yes.
Big boy.
Yeah. We were successful. I was not still in the match when we were successful, but we were successful.
So Daniel Bryan gets the crowd into it. His music plays, and he starts going back up the ramp to the yes chant, and Vince just looks almost embarrassed. And he hasn't even left the ring yet, and the Shield's music hits.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
It just happened like right away.
Which felt like the Shield was coming down to beat up Daniel Bryan, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes. What is the Shield going to do? But as they make their way, then you see Daniel Bryan finish, get in the back, Vince leaving the ring, walk in the back.
The last time Vince was out there and the Shield came out, we thought he was coming to beat up, and we just learned on the app that Vince just walked to the back. So
without incident.
We thought maybe we were going to get one of those, but no.
And the crowd popped huge for that first time when Shield came out, when Vince was out there. You thought, oh, snap.
They need to come beat up Vince.
One thing that was really cool, though, was when he was mentioning, before we move on, but Daniel Bryan and Vince, they were talking about ruthless aggression. And they mentioned that several times.
The ruthless aggression.
The original Cena promo.
And that's the first thing that ever came out of Cena's mouth on WWE TV.
Against Kurt Angle.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
He's like, don't have the ruthless aggression.
You don't have what it takes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, sure, you're a good wrestler, but you don't have that ruthless aggression.
So next week, are they me talking about grapefruits? If we brought back ruthless aggression,
please do.
Grapefruits, the next thing.
Daniel Bryan's going to drive in on a Zamboni. We're just gonna bring everything back.
He's gonna drive a truck out and shoot vegan soy milk at people.
There you go.
And Vicky Guerrero will give birth to a hand.
Yes.
Or a foot.
Let's do a foot.
We already
keep it
we've
fresh.
already had a hand.
Oh, well, we need the other hand.
Yeah. Okay. So right hand.
Here comes Lefty. I did love when Vince squatted down to talk to Daniel Bryan.
I mean,
though.
let me
That
tell
was
you.
Oh, let me talk to your level.
super insulting.
And then when Daniel Bryan tried to get on his tippy toes.
I'll
They
speak
kinda
on
had
your
like,
level.
no, me. Yeah, just like very, very bullyish by the boss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm going to get, I mean, Daniel Bryan could beat the crap out of Vince McMahon if he wanted to, but
Oh, yeah.
Vince is like, no, I'm in charge, so I'm gonna still punk you out. I'm gonna
can't touch
talk
me.
down to you because I'm the boss. You can't do anything to me. I'm the chairman of the board.
I love it.
Crazy Vince. So Shield battles Mark Henry and the Usos, which we kind of saw beginning to form last week, and pretty much anytime Mark Henry was in the ring, he just destroyed everyone.
Yeah.
Like the
Yes.
Shield really only had any type of offense in the match when they were in the ring with one of the Usos. But like anytime Mark Henry, whether he started the match or got like even the hot tag, even well after the hot tag, Mark Henry was just, I'm going to beat you all down.
And this is something I like when I get my heels into a face turn. It's almost the exact opposite of what The Miz and what Dolph Ziggler is struggling with right now. It's like this was a seamless switch. Like he was already over with half of us when he did that to Cena, and then he loses to Cena, and the next night. He hasn't changed anything. He hasn't
the same
changed anything.
character.
He is Mark Henry. He is still Mark Henry.
He's just now beating the crap out of heels.
Out of bad guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
exact
awesome.
same
Don't
character.
change a thing.
It's
Don't
cool.
start pandering to the crowd. No, you're Mark Henry. And I think that's what these Attitude Era guys have an advantage over some of the other guys.
The
in the
older
locker room.
guys
Yeah,
that
the older guys.
might have
They
been
just-
around during the Attitude
They had
Era.
that. Because, you were even saying, like, most of the locker room nowadays are all tweeners.
Yeah,
And
and
they're all kind of
It always
struggling with it.
seems like the stronger babyface characters come out of heels. You know, it's like a guy comes out as a babyface and he's totally struggling, then they make him a heel, and then they turn him after that, and there's still that little bit of edge from his heel run, and that makes him a little more interesting of a babyface. So I always like the babyfaces once they turn from heel. Ziggler's having, I think, a little struggles right now.
Yeah, and
we'll get into that. But
Yeah, and like a guy that everyone makes the example of with someone like that would be The Rock. Like,
Yeah.
But another one
The
that
Rock, Stone Cold was another one.
Stone Cold was another one. Edge was another one too.
Yep.
Edge started as a face and then turned into the Brood and then branched off from there. So I mean, it's
And then-
it seems to work. It's got a good track record
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the match though eventually ends with Ambrose pinning Jimmy Uso with his finisher that we're still waiting for a
Jimmy
name
Uso, or
of.
is that
Final
John?
Justice.
Is that John, our buddy John that got pinned?
John.
The TV said Jimmy, but another show called him John. I'm so confused.
His
Yeah.
girlfriend Trinity, right?
His girlfriend Trinity.
I've never heard
Who's-
of Trinity on the wrestling show.
we were talking about earlier tonight. We filmed the first Total Divas AfterBuzz, and I was talking about that. I was just like, I don't like them going by their
I
legit
like it.
names on the show
And I like it,
I
yeah.
actually like it a lot.
because it
Making the
confuses
regular
the
fans-
casual
I think it
fan.
Confuses the casual fan too.
Yeah, that's okay. So we're 2-2.
But it makes all the casual fans smarks.
It's
We're
completely
just like,
different.
oh,
It's completely
I know
different
them.
audiences, though. It's
Yeah.
the E show is not designed for wrestling audiences. It's designed to get a new demographic watching WWE.
Right.
So
and then,
I'm okay with that.
But then my argument with that is, all right, they'll join the WWE for the first time. Why is Trinity named Naomi?
That's her character.
Well,
she
if you-
plays a
you know
character on
what?
TV.
If you're
this
too
reality show was
stupid to
real.
figure it out, don't watch the show. Seriously, like just go drool in the corner if you can't figure that out. I'm sorry, like it's not
Mean
that
old Clum.
it's not that hard to figure out. You know,
No,
you
I
have
hear ya,
a
I
brain
hear
in
ya.
your head.
You're such a heel. You're such a heel.
Well, there you go. True colors.
I just
True
speak the
colors.
truth.
Yeah. But yeah. So go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say I am happy to see the Usos getting a push, though. I mean,
Finally,
About time.
yes.
whatever you want to call them, real name or not, I'm happy to see them really. I mean, they're getting some good ring time where they
Yes.
actually are not just being squashed by everybody. So.
Yeah, and it's good because they're, a legit tag team.
Yes.
I mean, you can't get more of a legit tag team than twins.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I guess a legit tag team for these days. Back when I grew up watching, legit tag teams have been together for 8 years. You know, I mean, now if you got a team that is together for a couple of years, that's a really long run.
That's a big thing,
team.
yeah.
You know, now back in the day, guys, 8, 10, 15 years together. That's why we had the golden era of tag team wrestling. So I want to see that back.
Yes.
Let's keep these guys together for the next 10 years.
If you need a petition signed.
Let's do that.
Start one right now.
Yeah, don't break up primetime players. Don't
No.
break up these guys.
Millions
In
of
3
dollars.
years from now, all these guys should still be together. Let's start building the tag team division back up.
Keep Tons of Funk together.
Keep them together. Keep everyone together.
Yeah.
You know,
The Wyatt family.
I mean, you'll have guys
Harper
drop
Rowan.
off and come up, and you know, you always had that core of guys, the Hart Foundations, the Rockers, people would come in and out, but you need that.
Tons of Funk has kind of gone cold, though, haven't they?
They have.
not
They're
really-
kind of turned into the jobber tag team.
Yeah, after they got pushed off the card at WrestleMania, it's just been a downhill race for them.
Yeah.
Man,
Brodus yelled at Cameron. We found out at the
awesome. Brodus. Yeah.
Keeping it real, bro.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's happening there.
What did he yell? Yelled at her that she was terrible?
Yeah, you suck.
She messed something up, I guess, in the
It's like,
rehearsal.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't do this because you suck.
And I can totally see someone doing that too.
I could.
I mean, I can totally just imagine the situation.
Well, it's WrestleMania.
Yeah,
like,
the
pull
pressure.
it together.
Right.
I'm
But
sure I
I'm
would
sure
be
she
upset.
screwed something up. He got frustrated. It's just like, you're terrible. You're terrible. Why are you even here?
Well, all Brodus got the year before at WrestleMania was Dancing Mamas. Did he even? I don't.
Which
think
is more than he got this
Yeah.
year.
Well, that's true.
The year before he was out with Del Rio, though, wasn't he? The year before that.
Yes, he was the bodyguard for Del Rio.
Rio's bodyguard.
Totally different character
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're backstage with Brad Maddox and Kane. Kane kind of trying to push Maddox around, asking, where are the Wyatts? He's ready to kick their asses.
Yeah.
And
We had a Wyatt video before that, too.
was that before it?
Yeah, it was just before this.
Oh, okay. A little Wyatt vignette,
Yeah.
like kind of recapping everything. And
Oh
then
yeah, there was also didn't the Ryback portion with the tuna ear slap? I think that was.
Yeah, right.
Was that happen already? I didn't. I think I had that later on.
Yeah, I think that was later on.
Was it?
But I didn't write that down.
Oh no, you were
you're
right.
right.
I'm wrong.
I didn't write that
skipped.
down.
I skipped the last line of page 1, and which was Ryback backstage with catering.
Okay.
Tuna ear slap. You
Yeah.
can't forget the.
You
tuna
can't
ear
forget the
slap.
tuna ear slap. And that local wrestler,
Made $200 to get slapped in the ear.
and this is his greatest moment of his
Oh,
life.
yeah.
Tuna in the ear.
Someone wrote and said they felt bad for him. I'm like, I didn't. I mean, that dude's like writing to all his friends. I was on
Yeah.
Raw. He just lived his dream.
You just lived your. Not only did you live your dream, you had a segment with one of the top heels that went a couple minutes. You got to speak, and they did a recap later on in the show.
Right,
Yeah.
and the fact is, when they bring these extras, I forget how many guys they bring in per show. It's a good amount though, and most of them
just sit in the back.
sit there and don't do anything. So if you get a spot like that, that's awesome. Like
Yeah.
if you get to do something, most guys just go out there and get paid to eat catering.
Yeah, and I just love the fact that apparently the catering for this week's Monday Night Raw was one table with hamburger buns, tuna, and chips. That was it.
We Slim Pickens. And one table.
That's what they feed the superstars,
I
right?
guarantee you a PA put that thing together. Hey, go put a table, make it look. We're gonna cheat it to make it look like catering in this little corner. Okay.
And I love this segment, but what, let's how do we keep this kayfabe here? Like, what's the reasoning for the crew to be out there filming these random nobodies having lunch? Like, besides the fact of, having the Ryback.
Well, they
come
said
in
it was
and
a
bully.
moment that happened earlier today. So, earlier in the day, your camera.
Logically, why are there cameras?
Yeah.
Why are there logically cameras anywhere?
There are cameras all over the back watching the superstars, and if something happens, we're going to see it on Raw.
Yeah,
If we
but
want to
follow Ryback into the catering room.
we want to go with the Max Landis Muppet Show thing. I mean, that's part of the
Exactly.
format of the show. There's cameras back there. We see the creation of the show as it goes on.
You never know how crazy tuna might get.
Yeah,
Really.
I agree. I kind of
Let's see what he's
Tuna
doing
needs
here.
to be watched at all
Let's see where this is
times.
going right here.
And
yeah.
I agree. Sometimes I don't like the backstage stuff, but that's the way it is now.
Yeah.
That's the format.
Yeah.
It's not going away.
All right. Now we're backstage with Brad Maddox and Kane.
Yeah.
Kane looking for the Wyatts. Maddox doesn't know where they are, but he says, hey, if you want to show them that you're still, the monster, and you still have that killer instinct, why don't you show them in your match against Dan O'Brien? And I found this very weird because Brad Maddox seemed to be just like such a pushover around like McMahon, around obviously Triple H, around the bosses, but then he's standing next to with the freaking monster Kane. It's like, why don't you go ahead and do this?
Yeah, trying to manipulate him even.
Because he's not as scared of Kane. He's the boss.
But Kane's the devil's favorite demon. Shouldn't you still be afraid of a 7-foot monster?
Hasn't looked like that for quite some time.
Would you be more afraid of some big muscle guy that's going to beat you up, or a little twerp that runs an army that has guns in behind you? I'd be a little more scared of the little twerp. You know, the guy who's power, the guy who runs things is a scarier person when you have power. You know?
I know. I just found it really odd because it almost just seemed like a completely different Brad Maddox person.
Yeah, I understand.
It was a little off character,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Well, you stand that close to Vince McMahon for an opening segment, you get a little extra testosterone down there.
Like it kind of rubs off on you.
Your little grapes turn into, plums. Not grapefruits, but plums.
That gave a weird visual for me.
That's what Josh Padgett's here for.
I talk about balls.
All right.
Let's talk balls.
Yeah, I mean, I took it. It's a little bit more of the little
American
guy, you know.
males.
American males. American males.
Bringing it back.
We're back to the ring now for Rob Van Dam taking on Fandango.
Wait, is that how you say it? I never knew.
Oh, yeah, that's how you.
I'll have to work on that.
That's how you pronounce it. He hasn't corrected me yet.
I've never heard him say it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. How about that?
So Fandango takes his usual 20-minute entrance to the ring.
I think that may have been his longest.
This was
ring
like
entrance.
longer than normal.
Oh my God.
There was no light up thingy though, was there?
There was no light up, and I don't know if you see, they've gotten rid of the curtain, but now they just have it on the side Tron.
Yes, I noticed that.
Pulling back more and more with him.
I mean, it's production-wise. I mean,
production-wise,
it's
easier.
It's way easier. I'd be like, let's not deal with the trussle. It's cheaper.
Well, and the other thing also between that and the light thing, you set that up. Everyone knows Fandango's coming out next.
Yeah.
So this way, you still don't know. If he's going to do a run-in or he's going to be up next or whatever.
The crowd knows. You can hide it from the TV audience.
Well, I'm saying, the crowd would know.
Knows, yeah, but we know these shows. The crowd is secondary. It's the home audience is the people they really cater to.
Right, but at the same time, if it's a hot crowd and they're chanting for Fandango, then the people at home will know it.
Yeah, I don't think always, though. But look at the Big E thing where Big E attacked Dolph a couple weeks ago. The whole audience would have seen Big E come all the way down, get ready, be ready to nail Ziggler, but they framed him out, so the only time we saw him show up is when he came into frame and attacked Ziggler. The audience didn't give that away.
No, but like I said, it also depends on the audience.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know that the audience really gives things away to people on TV when they see something and we don't.
But it would
I mean, I can't think of a situation, because that happens all the time, that they see things that we don't. I mean, I can't personally think of a situation where the audience ruined something that was hidden from us that they could see.
I mean, one that sticks out on top of my mind.
I mean, I could be wrong. I just can't think of anything.
The earliest one on top of my head was when Lesnar made his return on Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And the crowd was chanting Lesnar during Cena's promo.
Lesnar.
Well, I was there for that match, actually, and it's not... It was just so highly buzzed about that Lesnar was there that night.
Right.
They were chanting Lesnar a whole lot that evening.
And
it was just they were just hot for it regardless.
And those are usually when the internet has put something out
Somebody's
there,
on the airport
and everybody
or
at home
something,
who's watching it already knows that as well. Yeah. So yeah,
silly
or
internet.
you see signs. Sometimes you see signs of the guy who's debuting that night in the crowd, and I mean, it's a surprise he's debuting, but we all know.
Right. Smarks.
Yeah.
There was a really good charisma between these two, though.
They worked really well together, RVD and Fandango.
Yeah.
A lot of great kicks back and forth by them. Obviously, we know RVD's kicks, but Fandango's really showing off his, no pun intended, his footwork as well.
A little ballroom blitz.
But, ballroom. He should name one of his kicks that.
That should be a series of
ballroom
kicks or
blitz.
something.
Put that on the petition.
RVD lines up for the 5-star frog splash, but Fandango rolls out of the ring and gets counted out again. He seems to be bailing a lot on his opponents the last several weeks. But as soon as the ring announcer announces the winner of the match, RVD, Fandango's got a mic out the top of the stage and is like, "No, it's Fandango." And I'm all for these guys setting up a little feud. I mean, because I really enjoyed the way they wrestled with each other.
I liked it a lot. And if anybody could use a rub from RVD, I think it's a Fandango.
Yes, absolutely.
Not a Jericho, not a...
And neither of them have anything going on for SummerSlam. Be a nice mid-card match to have.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the pre-show match. You know, I think it could work.
For sure.
We're backstage from there with AJ and Big E. AJ screaming, panicking. He's like, I gotta wrestle Caitlyn again. This is ridiculous because every time she spears me, a baby cries and we lose a hero.
Which is the third week in a row we've had a hero reference.
Yes. And it's weird, like, you know, she's playing the insane person so well because she's like screaming and crying and then she's perfectly calm and like laughing and like, Big E.
Yes.
You know, and she starts like flirting with Big E all of a sudden and be like, you know, I notice you like watching me when I'm in the ring, you know, competing. You like my moves. And she's like, you just never know what I'm going to do. Like tilting her head like it's like freaking like Exorcist is like about to turn on its own, and kind of just skips away. It's like, what are they doing? What are they doing now with AJ and Big E? Like, it's like, is Big E just super friend zone guy?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. She's gonna break Big E's heart, isn't she?
Something's happening with the two of them.
Yeah. Asexual chocolate. Sad.
It's not good.
Sorry.
American males. We're just gonna bring that back every.
Asexual chocolate is a candy bar you never buy.
They went out of business quickly.
So what do you think the references to Hero is that talk about The Rock's show? I mean, WWE.
I don't know. That's just a rumor I heard from somebody that's not a coincidence.
It's because, like he said, there's been 3 weeks where they've kind of mentioned, you know, Hero, but in a sarcastic sense.
And there's been no promotion of that TV show since the beginning of it.
It could just be a crazy coincidence, but it all makes sense.
But they do those little jabs at sometimes, you know, that they'll write those in. So it could be. I don't know that it is, but it could be.
I still think the greatest jab I took of all time was when they made fun of that Monday Night Football ad with Shelton Benjamin and Trish Stratus years ago. Do you not remember that?
No, I don't think I was watching WWE at that point.
They did a Monday Night Football ad with Terrell Owens and Eva Longoria, and Eva was like in a towel. And they said it was too risque for television. So then they just completely mocked it. Like Vince came out and was like, a girl in a towel, and she's Canadian. We can't have this. I'm like, that was the greatest jab ever. So this leads right into the Caitlyn versus AJ match. AJ in control most of the time, heavily working the arm, which was kind of a trend throughout the night. There was a lot of matches where just everyone targeting the arm.
Right.
Some good flying knees in this match.
Great,
another
trend. A lot of flying knees. Anytime Caitlyn tried to get in the match, AJ hit a Shining Wizard, or Caitlyn went for a spear at one point, and AJ got her knees up and hit Caitlyn right in the face.
Reverse.
Looked great.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, you know, Caitlyn gets a spear in and makes the pin. The spear, it didn't look as effective as the spears have in the past.
It wasn't a great spear, but part of that, AJ didn't bump great on it.
Looked like one of my bumps from the other night.
Oh, yeah. looked like a Padgett bump, a foot still down. But
I'm working on it.
Look at you there, buddy.
It's scary.
Look at you there. It is scary, doesn't it?
That mat hurts. It's like the floor. It's like a thin carpeted floor. It's not like a living room carpet. No. It's like AstroTurf, man. It hurts.
Oh no, it hurts. It hurts very much.
And the ropes are even worse. I think that was the worst thing.
He's crying about the ropes.
The ropes are so bad.
I gotta get some more meat on my back.
Hit him again.
I wish you took a picture of your like wound from under the arm that you had after that.
Little bruising.
Make sure the next time you have him run around a lot.
Yeah. Don't tell me what to do.
I'm not. He's gotta be nice. Be nice to me.
No, but I want you to get through it.
Footage, yeah.
I know.
Sorry, it was just me and Josh.
Just private time.
Serious time.
Yeah, private ring time with Ryan Morals and Showtime Josh Padgett.
Very important serious one here and there.
That's true.
This was one of the few times that I've seen the crowd chant for Caitlyn. By the way, they were giving her a little chant at the end. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So really finally, really getting it
behind them. That's good.
And the fact that she gets the win, are we gonna have another title match between the two of them? Like
most likely,
next week or at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
I don't know. It's just the same thing over and over with the Divas. I was saying before, I'd love to see them go grab Victoria, bring Lisa Marie Verne or whatever her name is. She just left TNA. let's bring her back. Let's bring up maybe like a Sarah Del Rey, bring a couple of these girls from NXT. Grab the girls that can really wrestle here, and let's revive the division. You know, maybe bring Beth Phoenix back. Have 4 or 5 really good veterans. Some of the young girls can really wrestle down in NXT.
Oh yeah,
Davina Rosa, Bailey is very good. Paige is very
Charlotte's
good.
looking good early. I know she's new on NXT. But
I mean, she just started wrestling a year ago, right?
Yeah, but she
did great. She did great.
She's the daughter of Ric Flair. So
yeah.
Hey, well, the sons of Ric Flair didn't do so,
But
or at least David
she looks
Flair
like
wasn't so good.
she's got it.
She was good.
And
I thought she did great.
We got plenty of TV. You could have like a split roster for divas, like some divas that only are on SmackDown. You have some for main event and some for Raw.
Great idea.
See girls competing for that title. You know, wrestling matches.
Working their way up.
Several of them. Yeah. We've heard rumors of and I guess this Total Divas is what's become the Divas show. But there was talk about a Divas wrestling show way long ago. I'd like.
I mean, they were starting the channel, they were talking about that.
Yeah.
What was it? It's Hell on Wheels, or it was something where it was like a traveling
Hell
diva.
on Heels.
I'd like to see them really focus on the division.
there was
more.
even a point where I think they were talking about just turning like WWE superstars into like an all divas show.
I'd love to see that. Yeah. Let's just see all divas matches, all divas and tag teams.
I gotta think that for SummerSlam, if they do have a match though, it's probably going to be related to Total Divas. Like,
Yes,
don't you think it?
absolutely.
will have-
It should.
I don't think
Absolutely.
it'll be AJ Caitlyn. It might have them involved in some way, but I don't know if it'll be.
Maybe we'll get the match we were supposed to have at Mania or something like that. Now that they showed that whole story on Total Divas this week.
But didn't we get it the night after on Raw?
The 8-person tag we got.
We did get that, but maybe now that the story's out there, they'll play back up again. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe how about like a diva like scramble match? Have like
That'd be interesting.
6 of them in there, 10 or 15-minute time limit. Whoever's the last one to make the pin is the champion.
That's messy. That sounds messy.
Well, I mean,
Depending-
if they do it correctly, if they have the right people in it.
The right people at the right times working with each other. If you have veterans
6.
with the younger girls, you get the Natalias and the Laylas in there with the Alicia Foxes and stuff
obviously you have to have
run them through.
AJ Caitlyn because they're still going. Natalia, the Bellas, and one other.
Or you could do a battle royal.
Or they do them a lot
Yeah.
though. They do Diva Battle Royals a lot.
The only thing is that of that whole crew, the only person that's really a ring general is Natalia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need at least another one. Layla. You throw Layla in there.
Layla,
She can
there you go.
general. She can general it up.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right, do it, guys. Get on it.
Yeah, we are on it because we know what we talk about here.
No,
at
we don't. We
AfterBuzz.
just pretend to. We have absolutely no idea.
They don't know that.
Sorry, it's a
They don't know that.
This is a real professional.
Because we want them to go to iTunes and tell us how great we are, and giving us
true.
5-star ratings, and liking and subscribing, and telling the world about the wonderful place that is AfterBuzz. And because we do AfterBuzz Raw, SmackDown, Main Event, the pay-per-views. We just started Total Divas, and if there's some other television show that you enjoy, AfterBuzz most likely does it. So make sure you check it all out, and always go to the new and improved AfterBuzzTV.com, where it's real easy to watch your favorite shows live, see what your hosts are up to, and the calendar of all the fun stuff here. That's the iTunes AfterBuzz TV plug for today.
All right.
And as soon as the AJ Caitlyn match ends, Ziggler comes out with a mic, kind of congratulating AJ on your loss. And she's, of course, screaming, going nuts. Big E's trying to calm her down, trying to be the nice friend to help out his fallen lady friend that he might have feelings for, might not, who knows. And Ziggler just was like, I don't want to. I want to call out Big E right now for a match. And we all kind of thought, this will probably be just some quick little match because they were building us up for SummerSlam, right?
Yeah,
So,
beautiful match.
but we had, a good length, very entertaining match. Big E looked fantastic as he's seemingly always has been.
He's awesome. Yeah.
He's great. Like there's, I'm trying to think of something negative, and there's nothing.
No,
there's nothing about Big E at all.
No, I didn't think he was going to end up being as good as he's been.
Yeah, he's definitely
I didn't
better
think,
than I thought he would be.
When
Yeah,
you
he caught me
first
off
got
guard.
him, and it's like, oh, here's the next Ahmad Johnson.
I was going to say next Lashley.
The next
Ezekiel
Lashley,
Jackson.
or even Ezekiel Jackson, like just a big black guy that doesn't really have any ability or whatever, is the kind of that one-dimensional guy, and he's not. I think he's gonna move up.
He's got the power. He can own a comedic scene.
Yeah.
He can talk.
Great personality.
His personality is very interesting once they let that come through. I mean, we always talk about the My Little Pony bit that was at WrestleMania. I'm not sure if you saw that.
So great.
But it's phenomenal. Yeah. It's great.
I'm always happy to be surprised by somebody like that.
Yeah, me too.
You don't expect it.
A nice pleasant surprise by, it's so much better for that than some guy that that you're expecting
Like a
great
Sin
things from.
Cara, and he completely like this guy's gonna be supposed to be awesome, and you're like, he just doesn't live up to
He
expectations.
slipped again.
Yeah, he can't land a move.
In SmackDown, he's digging through a trash dumpster.
No, you're right though. It is very.
What are you doing? It's so weird, and it went on for so long. That was the longest hallway, and he's just like, "I'll move this box again, I guess. How about this way? All right, I'll do it again." It's like, oh my god.
Have you seen my mask? I need my mask. It's on your face.
He's still getting a paycheck, so he's all good.
He's still getting a paycheck. He's still selling merch. So,
Yep.
Amen.
Good on you.
Can't complain. Towards the end of this match, Ziggler throws Big E out of the ring, and then all of a sudden AJ jumps on Ziggler's back, kind of clawing him, thus
my eyes.
causing
Pulled a lot of hair
disqualification. Ziggler gets to win, and then once Ziggler kind of gets away from AJ, Big E comes in, be like, "What the hell did you do?"
Yeah, and kind of an ode to the pay-per-view. Very similar finish to the pay-per-view where she screwed Ziggler over. So I mean, it was the exact same finish.
Yeah, and now he's getting really angry at her.
Opposite, yeah.
And then Ziggler comes in from behind and gives Big E a zigzag. What I found really interesting was she's screaming and crying, going nuts while the end of the match and while Big E's yelling at her. And then as soon as Ziggler comes in, hits the zigzag and leaves, she just kind of stops and just kind of has like just a stare. And I found that kind of weird. It's just like, I would think this would make you angrier.
The arc was bad. Like she peaked too early. You can't go anywhere from there, right? Be pissed like, I just cost him the match, and now Dolph is happy. This sucks. He gets zigzagged. Now you scream. You see him smiling. She did it backwards. That's all.
Yeah, I couldn't decide if that was part of her crazy.
I couldn't figure it out.
or,
Yeah,
I don't
which
know
I guess is good.
Yeah.
Or she went too far and became catatonic. And she's just like, could work. Whichever way, it's all in the character choice.
It's nice not to know where they're going with this, though. Like, I mean, I'm still confused where this is going to head.
Is Big E turning face? Is he gonna just are they gonna start dating? I mean, what's gonna happen? We really don't know.
Even a face because these are very
It's
heel
weird.
characteristics.
I almost want to root for Big E and boo Ziggler in these situations.
Yeah, because he's basically being run over by AJ. I mean, he's definitely being the most taken advantage of.
Right, yeah.
So.
Had AJ
But just even that bit, was it last week where he kissed her on the head and
the friendly peck.
Yeah, you really like Big E at times. Yeah.
And the way AJ is treating him now, it's like, oh my God. Like, you really good. How can we root against Big E right now? We don't like AJ for sure.
Yeah.
Now, had AJ embraced Big E and said, you know what, I'm going to start dating you. And he's like, yeah, this is what I wanted all along. Then you could hate on Big E, but no, they're doing it. They're doing it in a way that they're trying to.
You can't figure it out.
I mean, we're turning Dolph babyface, and because everybody's cheering him, he's a much better natural heel. We can see him struggling a little bit right now. It's hard. I mean, it's really hard when you've been a heel and you've got that mentality, and now all of a sudden you have to be the good guy and do things a different way. And you see a lot of heels do heelish stuff when they're trying to turn. So we're seeing him struggle. And I think Big E is more of a natural babyface. Ziggler's a more natural heel. So I'd like to see them switch that, use the guys and the strengths that they have. I understand why they've turned Ziggler because he's so popular, but I'd like to see it the other way, personally.
Yeah, I broke up. He broke up with AJ because he was focused on the world title. You cost me the title. I'm broke. I'm breaking up with you. I'm done. Now keep going after ADR. Go after him. That's how you maintain your faceness. But now you're going out there and screwing around with her. It's like, dude, move on. You broke up with her. Leave. It's really hard.
It's writing.
It's the writing, and it's it's kind of screwing Ziggler over a little bit, on his face turn.
Yeah. Well, it's also the way you do. It's just when you're in there with one mentality. I mean, people hate when I talk about myself, but I am not. I mean, I'm a heel. I've worked babyface once or twice ever, and I was when I work in class, I'm almost always a babyface because it's my weakness. That's what I'm working on. And I was in Brian Kendrick's class a couple weeks ago, and Paul London was there. I cut a promo, a babyface promo, and Paul London goes, "I hated you." He goes, "I hate you." And Kendrick's like, "The babyface is a dick." It's very, very difficult when you're so used to that. And I went out and tried to do the best babyface promo I could, completely heel. You just have that heel mentality. He has that heel mentality. And I think he's so talented. He'll figure it out. But it's going to take a second for Dolph to figure out how to be a credible babyface.
Yeah. See,
when is the last time he was a babyface?
never. He was never been a babyface
right?
in WWE.
Never.
No,
Right?
not even Spirit Squad.
Spirit Squad, Curran White's caddy.
Anything in OVW? Was he? So he's.
I don't know about OVW,
He's
but
never worked babyface. Yeah, and I mean that's one thing. Like I hear guys talking about when you hear about like Ricky Steamboat dealing with things. You know, I've heard people say like Arn Anderson's a genius. Ricky's great to work with, but Ricky never worked heel ever in his entire career. Not one match. He was always a babyface, so he only knows the babyface side of things. So you know, it's some people are heels, some are babyfaces, some can do both.
Yeah.
Man, it would have been great if Ricky the Dragon Steamboat went heel one time. Just a vicious man kicking people in the head back then.
But would he
would
have
have gotten
able to
over.
pull it off?
Yeah.
Would he have been able to pull that off?
Back then? Yeah, I think so.
Well, you don't know that.
No one would be
he may
cheering
not-
him.
It doesn't
They'd hate
mean,
that.
But it doesn't mean he had it in him as an actor.
Right, right, we don't know. Yeah, we
right.
wouldn't know.
Some actors are
I think
better
he
at
would.
this character. Some are better at this character.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and he was so used to one. I don't know that he could have just pulled it off out of his hat.
And see, like, I really enjoyed, you know, the Ziggler promo. They kind of did a little. Did they do a little recap on it from SmackDown?
The one on SmackDown is what I'm talking about. Tonight it was hidden.
Tonight was pretty hidden because it was very short and sweet. It's
He
like,
didn't have
Biggie,
as much
I
time to
want
talk.
you
Yeah,
in the ring, which obviously is like typical. Oh, the good guy's calling out the bad guy. Cool.
It was SmackDown where he was really exposed.
But I liked it. Like, I kind of thought it was kind of adult humor
But did you hear the
babyface.
crowd reaction? There was the crowd wasn't into it really.
Well, it's SmackDown. They filter the crowd every time on SmackDown.
SmackDown crowd, that's rough.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because you could tell because this one was taped. Because there are some times when, like, they announced a person coming down the ramp, and let's just say, say Dolph Ziggler. Now, obviously, Ziggler's the type of guy who normally gets a big pop, but guys that come down the ramp and might not always get as big of a pop as they want, they filter in the cheers, and you can kind of hear that a little bit on Raw this week. I felt. Because it was taped.
Because it was taped, yeah. It was very similar to a SmackDown episode, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that pops in my head we'll get to later, because there was a match where I thought it really stood out.
I know what we need to talk about now.
What should we talk about?
Dolph Ziggler. We have Dolph Ziggler's brother, Briley Pierce, who called in a couple weeks ago, is going to be live in studio next week.
He will be here next week on that couch.
Yes.
Hanging out with the Raw crew.
Yeah, he will.
So, studio audience.
So if you got questions that you want to ask him probably about NXT, tweet them out to you, to Josh,
to Kathy,
Dale, Kathy. Hell, you can tweet them to me. I'll send them over to Quasto. Send them to any of us, or send them to AfterBuzz.
Go to our Facebook. We have a Facebook page. You can send them on our Facebook page as well.
So Bradley Pierce will be here next week in studio.
Yes.
That should be a rootin' tootin' good time.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you not like my rootin' tootin' good time? I'm sorry. Is that funny to you, Dale?
Very modern.
Dale, very on
We get a recap from SmackDown and I love that the whole thing of SmackDown last week was pretty much Cody and Sandow and the briefcase, and we got a nice recap of what happened with it at this point. Or did I skip some? I'm skipping over notes back and forth. What is wrong with Boo me? I don't normally lead a 90-minute AfterBuzz. I skipped the best match of the night. We'll get to Sandow and Cody in a minute. Let's talk about Christian and Bowder Del Rio.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one instead.
Let's talk about it.
I screwed up, yay. Del Rio, again, working the arm of Christian. Like we've said, it's been a lot. Obviously, this is Del Rio's main focal point, especially as a heel.
Yeah.
But
another guy who's a much stronger heel than a babyface.
Yes.
Much stronger.
This is a great example of that.
Yeah. Did a really good job. I actually liked his babyface. I thought he worked really hard as a babyface, but he's a much better heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
No, I
wrestling
agree.
style was great as a face too. I mean, he did
was
great, but
he was doing some lucha stuff, but I like his wrestling style better as a heel because he's the one guy that works on like a body part. He's got that old school mentality.
Yes.
He works heel differently than anybody else.
And there was also like a great drop kick up against the steel steps with Christian's arm kind of laid out there. Looked great. Christian sold it like $1 million. You know, it was one of those type of moves where like the ref should run over, be like, "Do you think you could continue?" You know, type of moves, and you know, just the selling job of Christian was
amazing. That's the
excellent.
best selling job of an injury I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, he did very good with that.
Not like Sheamus when he's like, "Yay!" It's like, all right, well, the arm's okay now. All right.
And I mean, a highly entertaining and competitive matchup between the both of them. Christian hit a huge tornado DDT in this.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
It was
And
huge.
Awesome.
and you know, lots of countering their signature moves back and forth. And then we get to the end where Del Rio hops for the cross arm breaker.
Phenomenal, yeah.
It looks like he has it locked in, but then Christian kind of continues and cradles him up.
Yeah, it was basically an amateur cradle. is
Yeah,
what he hit
it
him
almost
with.
kind of looked like almost kind of inverted Maestral cradle a little bit.
Yeah, it was literally just almost a bow and arrow amateur cradle. It's typical cradle. Had grab the leg.
Yeah, and
put it
just
together,
but the flow of it's just still
Yeah.
going from the cross arm breaker.
Yeah, tuck the head.
and pulls off what, you know, obviously the crowd went nuts because this is what is an upset. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
pinned,
We weren't expecting
you pinned
that.
the champion. This match was not advertised.
No.
There was no backstage segments for this or anything. All of a sudden, the world heavyweight champ loses.
And Christian's going clean over guys right now.
Christian-
We talked
Yes.
last week over who was it, Titus?
Yep, Titus, and then the
And
week
SmackDown with
before-
Swagger, and
Yep.
he's going over a lot of guys.
taking people out.
He just beat the world champ clean.
Yep.
Yep. And this Friday on SmackDown, we're going to find out Del Rio gets to choose his opponent for SummerSlam. Christian just beat you.
Yeah, you got to think that's where this is headed, or at least a good case for it.
And now, obviously, he makes the argument that he should be the one getting that one more match that he's been preaching since he returned.
I think he should like get in and announce like he's gonna take on the returning Santino or something like that, and then make
take on Brooklyn Brawler. Brooklyn Brawler
or somebody, and then make Triple H get involved and be like, no,
this ain't happening.
That's one thing I've always wanted. I've always wanted somebody like a Santino to win the Royal Rumble. And then have like Vince flip out and do everything he can to change the main event. Be like, this is gonna ruin WrestleMania. There's no way you're gonna get that title shot.
would be so
and
awesome.
Then you spend months of him trying to fix the main event.
Your title shot is on the
chasing
line.
guy. Yeah. Every week the guy's got his title shot up on the line.
That'd be a great way to build somebody up, really.
It would be. It would
absolutely.
be. And they just start beating everybody, and they just run through the roster until they actually
2014 Royal Rumble winner, Zack Ryder.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.
Something like that, or someone even sillier than that. Like
even
Santino. Like
Santino.
Santino would be the perfect one.
Darren Young. He's just some random guy that you never see win.
Yeah, I mean, Santino's the comedy guy.
Yeah.
So you would never think, he would ever get a title shot. But he's way over. The crowd would go nuts. Do you
Crowd
remember?
loves him.
Do you remember a couple of years ago was it Elimination Chamber when it was him and was it down to him and Daniel Bryan?
It was him, down to him, because
Was
the
Bryan the
pay-per-view,
champion or was it Big Show champion?
Daniel Bryan was a champion at that point because the pay-per-view before that was the 40-man Rumble where Santino ended second to Del Rio.
Del Rio, yeah.
So
right.
they still built that momentum, had him in the heavyweight title chamber match,
And when there was,
and
a
was
false
down to him and
finish
Daniel Bryan.
that looked like he was going to win the world title, and the place went crazy when Santino was about to win the title.
And they went crazy when all of a sudden he rolled back into the ring and hit the Cobra on Del Rio.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, no way. They're not going to let him win this. This will be the most amazing thing. I was at a buddy's house. There was like 20 of us there, and we were going nuts. We're just like, oh my God, Santino's going to win. Santino's going to win.
Aww. Yeah.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
If
He
you
didn't win.
haven't seen that from 2
years ago. He didn't win.
You're probably not going to get that.
You're probably not gonna watch that.
There was a lot of cool chants. I mean, the crowd was doing some C chants. They did some Mexico chants. It was an interesting crowd for this particular Del Rio.
Texas,
Yeah.
ADR definitely has the best kind of roll off from the yes thing. Like he's not one other guy. He can like use it a little bit with the C, and he'll do that. He'll get into the C's.
Yeah.
It's like, you sneaky bastard.
It's like, you're stealing Daniel Bryan's thunder, man.
Yeah.
Especially when he was a face. That was all he had. All he had was to see chance.
Right. But he can kind of get away with it.
I know.
It's interesting because it is different. It's funny.
When's Ricardo coming back? Is it soon? Do we know when that's
I would
over?
say a week.
I would think
Once he
he's
gets the
almost
fat burgers out of the
recovered from his
system.
table injury
Yeah.
because he was thrown through a table, and that's
Yeah,
why he's off
that's
TV.
right. Oh, yeah.
Because he's hurt.
hopefully he's okay.
Somebody wrote to me on Twitter. They're like, he gets busted for fat burgers. Remember when they were promoting Stacker 2? Do you think he's allowed
Stacker
to use that? And I'm like, yeah,
That's
that is
awesome.
true.
Hey, like
very true.
Trish Stratus and the Dudleys and those commercials. And
Ricardo found like a closet full of Stacker 2 at one of the in WWE headquarters. Like, but you had this your guys
They're like,
stuff.
that was Attitude Era. Get out of here.
while his arm was in a sling from the table injury.
Yes.
Okay. Now is the recap of Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes from SmackDown. The whole issue, how it went throughout the show with the briefcase.
That was genius on
it was
SmackDown.
great.
The bubbling briefcase was pretty awesome. I definitely liked that.
Well, it was.
And the instant slow-mo replay of it going back down.
Well, because it ended up working. The damage to the briefcase made it work perfectly for
Yes.
this. Because a couple weeks ago, when Cody threw the briefcase and it had that one crack in
Yeah.
it, and now when he threw it in the Gulf,
filled
then
with
it filled up
water.
with water and it sank.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was
It was perfect.
great.
Yeah.
And how about us getting recaps on Raw of
For SmackDown. And this was a long SmackDown recap.
Yeah.
We get them sometimes.
Like
It's
once in a
awesome.
while, but you don't get something this long normally.
Yeah, this was,
Yeah, I mean, because it was a big bit. So, it was a big, important storyline.
Yeah, and
Really pushed Sandow.
they're really pushing this feud.
I like that.
Which is
Yeah.
great, because these are two guys that need the push.
Definitely.
Not only need it, deserve it.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the big part.
Absolutely. Amen.
Deserve it. Big time.
Yes.
You think it's going to be like a briefcase on a pole or something? I mean, there's got to be something to do with the
Yeah.
briefcase.
Well,
I
the
think
briefcase is
specifically.
gone. I
So I
gotta
guess it's-
imagine.
yeah.
Like, I mean, did they go
Does
fish
it mean he loses his title shot?
No. He doesn't
What if he
lose it.
does, though? That'd be awesome.
Show us the paperwork.
Yeah,
Oh, you
no,
don't have the paperwork?
yeah, no. I mean, they go to the office. They'll reprint another contract.
like a leather-bound folder.
You know what they could do is like, oh, well, you lost your contract, but here's what we'll do for you. You'll face Cody in a #1 contenders match.
Yeah. Well, then I'm gonna arrest him for having him arrested
thievery.
for thievery and destruction of property. And going after my livelihood. I mean,
I think it would be really
I'm gonna
curious,
sue
though.
your ass, Cody.
I think it'll be really curious, though, if somehow because he threw it in the Gulf of Mexico and it sank, that he doesn't get his title shot now, his guaranteed one. I just think, I mean, I want him to get it, but I think that'd be such a unique idea.
But why?
And you disagree.
No,
From here on out.
because why would it make sense? It wouldn't make really sense that I mean that.
Well, the
just-
contract was in that briefcase.
All it does is represent the fact that he has.
Yeah, it's a
as
symbol.
a contract. It's
Right.
a symbol of it. It's not, well, you lost it, so like you don't get it. I mean, it's like you lost your lottery ticket. Like, oh, I won, but I can't find. Oh my god!
But to cash in, you got to hand in the briefcase.
I think it's a pretty cool
Yeah, but
synopsis.
he still stole it. So then I go to the police. So I mean, then I say it was stolen from me.
And then he's arrested.
Yeah, then I'm gonna have you arrested for it.
It'd be funny if they're like, I'm sorry, you have to recover it, and he has to like rent scuba gear, and they're like, the officials are watching. He's like,
SummerSlam in prison.
he's got seaweed hanging out of it. He's like, oh, he's got barnacles.
That was funny when he's going, "You're more handsome than I am.
You have better facial hair than I do.
You are my intellectual superior."
So this all brings up to Cody Rhodes versus Wade Barrett, and
Battle of the Jobbers.
Cody's not a jobber anymore.
Not anymore. So we know.
yeah.
We know Barrett's
One of
hometown.
our three guys that we want to stop being jobbers has been cured.
Yes. Right.
Now we need Wade Barrett and Antonio Cesaro to be cured.
We're 33 1/3% there.
I don't consider Antonio a jobber.
When does he win?
Well, he's at least in a push right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
He
one of
looks
the real
amazing the
Americans.
whole time.
He does, but
Somehow finds a
he
way to
doesn't
lose.
win.
Yeah, he doesn't win though.
But there's more to being like.
At least he's being
that
used.
doesn't make you just a jobber if you don't.
Didn't
win.
he lose to Justin
a
Gabriel
heel.
and Sin Cara like
lost to
2
Sin
main
Cara.
events in a row?
Ric Flair was world champion, lost every friggin' match. He never won.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
That's why
a jobber.
he's
a world
16.
champion.
16 is he?
Yeah. He always lost.
He would win. Win it again.
Well, there's your typical saying. Yeah, you might have won 16 times, but that means you also lost the title 16 times.
Right. Yeah. The heels aren't supposed to win. very often. I mean, it's.
I want them to.
Oh, okay.
But right now we're just in the middle of the Barrett Jabaj.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Oh, nice. That was good. That was good.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That was all right.
I'll work on my accent.
Your Gabriel joke last week was better, but that was pretty good.
Can't all be
joke was
zingers.
key last
Can't all be zingers.
So this was your basic match. Nothing super exciting with it. Cody wins with a crossroads, but then as soon as the match ends, Sandow comes out. Pretty much, how dare you?
No, he says, "Damn you."
Damn you. Damn you. Then like, how dare you throw my briefcase?
I love where he said, "Damn you." I filed a complaint.
I filed a complaint, and and talking about like how carny folk like you are beneath my constitution.
Yes.
Your family are a bunch of clowns.
Yes, making fun of the Rhodes family.
And when he said your family,
what do we all say?
You're a family of plumbers. Say your family, the son of a plumber.
Son of a son of a plumber.
The son of a plumber. And
But you think of his polka dotted outfit and you think of Gold Dust. You think
That was the thing, though.
Carnival
Like, what do we all
parties,
think
yeah.
when he brought that up? Is like, all right, Goldust has to get involved.
Yes, someone said that.
Yeah.
I forget who is it that said that. You said that, right? He was like, "Oh, if Goldust walked out right now."
Goldust out next
out
week.
now, come out now,
Sandow
you know?
beats up Goldust. Make it happen.
He's not doing anything else.
But he said, I enlightened the unwashed masses, and you grew a mustache.
Over the last year,
Cody's like,
I won the Money in the
did
Bank.
that, yeah.
I cured the unwashed man. You grew a mustache. Come on. This is all you did?
You're beneath me.
That mustache got a lot of chance, though.
The mustache got its own T-shirt.
and its own T-shirt.
And its own T-shirt. So
Not the T-shirt I wanted, but still got a T-shirt.
Hey, you know,
Close enough.
is that a mustache ride?
Oh, then
That's Joey, hey,
That's
don't
Joey
say-
Ryan.
That's Joey Ryan.
That's Joey Ryan's trademark.
That's the Pro Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion.
I love Joey Ryan.
Joey
There was a
Ryan's
great
amazing.
moonsault, and that Rhodes really landed that moonsault this week. It was a little trouble last week. I don't know if it was on Fandango or on Rhodes, but
Well, Fandango
this
wasn't
one
really in
was-
position
He
last
wasn't
week,
in
but this one
position,
was
and-
better.
And I think it was Fandango just hadn't worked with him, so
Yeah.
Cody doesn't come out very far on
Yeah.
that. You got to really be close into the turnbuckle. So I think it was just he didn't know his positioning.
This one looked
And he
great,
wanted to
though.
call him. Yeah, this is
Yes.
Yeah.
good. Cody may have been, all right, don't do it like Fandango did it. Make sure you're close, dude. Make sure you're close. I almost got dropped in my head last week.
Middle of a push. Come on.
And
See that dude dancing over there? You almost dropped me in my head.
speaking of best friends at war, from there we go into former tag team champions combating against one another. Daniel Bryan versus Kane. It was interesting because like Daniel kind of looked uneasy and uncomfortable when they were first kind of just standing staring at each other, and then it's just like click, and then he just runs in with a knee and just starts the house of fire that Daniel Bryan normally does. And this was very random. All of a sudden on commentary, they're saying, rumors are swirling around that if Kane pulls off the win here, then he'll be the new #1 contender for whoever wins at SummerSlam. It's like, Kane's been gone for 3 weeks. He hasn't really had a big singles win in a while. Where did this come from?
Yeah, it was very.
It was very just
strange
random, and they brought it up like 3 times or so during the match. I don't know. I
guess
just found
that's their
it.
way of like.
Did they say that he would get it, or did they say that it could put him in contention? I thought that's why.
Well,
I may have missed what you said.
They said
I
like
didn't hear it all those times.
they said at the beginning like there are rumors
okay.
heavily swirling that a victory here will make Kane the #1 contender. They didn't say it'll put him in contention. It was like he'll be the face whoever wins at SummerSlam.
You know what? That would have actually made sense if somehow they put it in saying, Vince is in.
Yeah, that's the only way.
We have gotten word from Mr. McMahon that blah blah because Vince is trying to screw
He wants Daniel Bryan to get
out
beat.
of it. So that would make sense.
Or Brad Maddox informed us or whatever. Yeah.
There wasn't enough story elements in there. There needed to be some more specifics.
Again, like just a
to
quick
make it
little
make
fix.
sense.
A quick little fix.
Quick little fix. Throw another line in there. But once again, 3 hour. These guys are writing 9 hours of TV or whatever a week.
Yeah.
So things get brushed under the table sometimes.
So many things happen on the fly, anyways.
Yeah.
That it's like, well,
Yeah, it's like crap. Well, we should have done.
we should have done that, but next week maybe.
Well.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan gets the win in this match by rolling up Kane while he was in the midst of giving him a choke slam. But then after the match, Kane kind of snaps on Daniel Bryan and gives him a choke slam anyway.
Yeah.
And
But then
kind of Daniel Bryan kind of rolled out of the ring,
All
was
right.
back on his feet and
jerk.
started walking
Please.
back.
Well, there's Kane's
And-
choke slam.
Yeah, all right, he took the choke slam, but I still won, so I'm going to walk away. And then as Kane gets ready to deliver the pyro, then they come out.
Yes.
The lantern.
And by they, I mean the Wyatt family. Probably my favorite thing going right now.
Yeah.
I freaking love these guys.
Yeah.
So they come down to the ring as they have been with the lantern. Lantern goes out, lights up. Harper and Rowan are in the ring. Looks like it's going to be kind of a repeat of what happened to Kane a few weeks ago. But as soon as that happens, Kane dodges both of them and goes through the middle, heading right to Bray, which I liked. It's like,
Yeah,
I
that
studied
was
the
very
game
cool.
tape. I studied the game film. This is what I got to do.
Yeah.
And, he gets his hands on Bray, but Harper and Rowan get back to him before he could deliver any damage. Harper with a sick boot, like a big boot and a lariat.
Yeah, big lariat.
Onto Kane, and they just completely lay him out. Then Bray Wyatt comes in, hits the Sister Abigail.
Sister Abigail.
And
good name.
the kiss on the forehead into
like
the
that.
Sister Abigail.
Thank God they took that away from Fandango. Remember when
He did it like
he did it
once.
once
He
or
did
twice.
it a couple times. It's like, wait a minute, that's Bray Wyatt's move.
Yeah. I think it might have been at WrestleMania even that he had
It was
some.
somewhere.
It was
shortly
right
after,
around
right
there.
after, right
Yeah.
around then. He was doing it. Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Because then he was doing Sandal's Russian leg sweep shortly after that. Like, he was like, oh, I'm going to do Bray Wyatt's move. Okay, I can't do that. I'll do Sandal's Russian leg sweep. No, you can't do that either.
He,
All right, I'll
he has
just
to
keep
steal
jumping off.
everybody else's.
He's got him.
McGillicuddy has 3 of his own.
Yes, McGillicuddy. You mean
Sorry,
Axel?
Axel, Alec. I can't stop calling him McGillicuddy.
I know.
I know he hates it too. I saw an interview. It was like, thank God I never have to be McGillicuddy again.
It wasn't a very good name.
No, it was terrible.
So bad.
The only thing I could think of was Bubba the Love Sponge every time I heard that, because that's like one of his little things.
yeah.
Hey, you got that McGillicuddy over there?
The only thing I would have liked to see from this whole segment would be like for them to have dragged off Kane or off stage or something. Like I want this
Yeah.
to lead to something.
Lead
more
to something
like
else.
Him joining the Wyatt family or him becoming a disciple or something. I don't know. I just
And it
being
might
like-
eventually.
yeah.
Being kidnapped, kind of old school, like when they did with what was Undertaker's group, the Ministry.
Ministry of Darkness.
Yeah.
Or we could go the
there's
TNA
a
way
great theme.
with Samoa Joe and just have him kidnapped and then
show up and
like totally kayfabe the fact that he was ever kidnapped.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what? No, Samoa Joe's back. Hey.
And didn't they have a beard at that point or something?
Yeah,
or
it's like,
face paint. He had
wasn't
face
he
paint.
abducted like a couple months ago, and we've been like concerned where he's been?
Don't worry.
No, he's back.
Well, before this segment ended, Bray took the microphone, which is always gold. And
Oh, his
promos
one of my
are so
favorite
good.
Promo guy.
Actually, Martin, I don't know if you're able to. If you can get the Wyatt family music to play. On main event, I love like whenever Bray Wyatt talks, I have like the music play and I recite the promo because I feel it goes so well with the music.
How theatrical is
Isn't it?
I
Isn't
like
it?
it.
I'm very theatrical. I mean, this is what I do.
Yes.
I'm big time like that, which is why I'm here hanging out with you guys this week. Here it comes.
Good voice.
Was that you with
That's
the?
me, baby.
Is that like a? Oh, that's your ringtone on the phone. All
That's
right.
my phone. It's not a
Yeah.
ringtone.
Oh,
There you go.
All right. Well, I'll roll with it.
There you
Or
go.
you'll stop it. I heard you like to call yourself the devil's favorite demon.
Oh, do you want that more music?
That was, I was gonna say because like just during the promo, I just think it sounds so good doing his promos with his music.
Do it with the accent, though. I need to hear the accent.
I heard you like to call yourself the devil's favorite demon, but you, sir, are no demon and the devil, no man. Shh, Kane. I like to let you in on a little secret, man.
There we go.
There it is. You ought to be careful with who you say those things in front of, because you never know who might be listening. Drops the mic.
I love that.
Follow
Nice.
the buzzards.
Kane should have followed the buzzards. He keeps telling him that.
Well, maybe he'll eventually follow the buzzards.
Get it through his thick head.
Well, he can't hear through that mask very
Yeah,
well.
you gotta take
Maybe
that mask
you gotta-
off.
That dampener.
Maybe he
Bray
has
gonna
tuna.
wear-
Maybe he has tuna in
Is Bray gonna wear the mask when he
Ryback got to him.
wrestles? Remember when he got hurt down in NXT?
He wore like a little face mask
He
for
had
a
the
while.
face mask, and he was even wearing it when he got healed, and he was okay because it looked so cool. I think. I hope he
Who's this?
wears that. Bray Wyatt. He has like this.
Oh,
He had
okay.
broken his nose, or he done
Yeah, it was
something.
just one of those like
Face
facial
masks.
protector masks.
Yeah.
Like Cody Rhodes wore you for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Kind of, but it was like a solid color. It was like white or black or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
and
It's
it
white.
looked different, and it was really cool. It looked cool with him. It worked. You know, he'd put that on when he'd wrestle.
'Cause it was kind of like creepy horror movie guy.
Yeah. I hope they keep him wearing that mask.
And that is actually the thing with this guy. I mean, the Wyatt family is really the only people in the PG era that are there to give kids nightmares.
Yeah.
Like this is supposed to be the scary guy.
They almost give me nightmares. That
It's
intro,
freaky.
I mean, everything
Yeah.
about it is very disturbing. I find.
Yeah.
Even the music.
Even the music. I can listen to this music all
You
day.
can be edgy and PG. You know, I think that's
And they
something
do
a
it.
lot of people don't realize. You can be edgy and be, oh, the PG era. If you're creative enough, you can be edgy with it.
Yeah, this is a great
I
example
mean,
of
it
that.
was PG when I grew up, and you know, Macho Man got attacked by a cobra.
Right.
Edgy stuff, man. There's some great stuff.
With some
back
little
then.
blood hanging there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome.
I actually just saw got sent to me like the video of Jake Roberts and Ultimate Warrior. Like when Warrior got bit by that cobra, like to
Locked
start
him in
the heel turn of Jake Roberts
yeah,
and the
yeah,
Undertaker. Such great stuff back
Jake
then.
Roberts. He's wanting to make a push for the Royal Rumble. I keep hearing that.
Yeah,
That's his,
I hope he can pull it off.
Can you imagine if he can be in the Rumble?
crowd will
this
go
year?
nuts.
I'd love it. It would be awesome.
One DDT.
And
That's all I want.
Get him in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
We need,
Throw the
we
snake
need
in the middle of the room
Is Jake in
and
the Hall-
like
Jake's
two
not in
guys
the Hall of
jump.
Fame, right? He's not there.
Not
Right?
yet.
He will.
I read an interview
he needs
with
to
Jake
be.
recently where they were like, oh, who would you like to face if you came back to WWE? And it's like, oh, I got to face Shane McMahon. It's like, you got to watch the product first.
Shane?
Yeah.
Shane.
Loquasto
Gone for a
keeps
while.
saying, and I agree, bring him back and stick him with Randy Orton, the Viper, the Snake and the Viper. You know,
I was kind of like a mentor, like a manager type
or
guy.
even like a heel. You know, have him turn Randy heel. Have
You've lost your way, Viper.
Yeah, put
Well,
him.
they
put
had
him
a
together. It could
segment
be very
years
cool.
ago, like when Orton was the career killer. There was a highlight reel segment where
Oh,
Jake
did he go after
Roberts.
Jake?
Like Jake Roberts came out as like a surprise. That was the last time we've seen him, I think, on WWE TV, and like they kind of like had a promo against each other, and then Orton gave him an RKO.
Okay.
But yeah, that was obviously many years ago.
Right.
It was like 2005.
Yeah.
six,
Legend Killer
something.
days.
Legend Killer days.
Those are good.
They were good. And from the awesomeness that is the Wyatts, we go to Brie Bella versus Natalya, the second Divas match of the night, a.k.a. the reminder about Total Divas has started, and they replayed Total Divas on USA Network once Raw ended.
Daniel Bryan's girlfriend versus Tyson Kidd's girlfriend.
Yes.
That's what we'll be discovering on Total Divas.
And this was what I was talking about earlier as far as them like filtering in applause and stuff. All of a sudden, for like any move Natalya hit, you were hearing big pops from the crowd.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I love Natalya to death, and she's a phenomenal wrestler, but you know that live crowd was
We're in
not giving her
Texas,
those
not
pops.
Canada, okay?
Maybe they loved her.
Yeah, we don't know.
You don't know.
Well, if you hear when you hear the pops and you look
have
as
to
far
go
as the
back- I'll have to go
shot
back and
and the
listen.
crowd
And the place is going nuts, and everybody is like on
on their phones or whatever.
Yeah, it's a
I'm on
peanuts.
level 8 of Angry Birds. Leave me alone. I'm playing Cut the Rope.
But this is great news. Like this Divas show is great because we're going
to get more angles. We're
going to
get more divas on TV.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we find out earlier in the day the reason this match is happening is, well, I guess they set up the match and Natalya runs into the Bellas in the back, and the Bellas call her an ugly duckling, pretty much making fun of the way she looks. Typical diva heel moments.
Which almost that stuff happened for real on the show Total Divas. If you watch the WrestleMania stuff where they're not get their costumes aren't done, they're getting pissed. The Divas walk by and say, or the Bellas walk by and say something, and Cameron just starts going off on it.
She's ready to go. Yeah, she's ready to tackle them right there.
She's ready to fight in the back.
Well, she had already been yelled at. She wasn't gonna.
Oh yeah. She got yelled at by Brodus.
And so at the end of this match, Natalya's getting ready for the sharpshooter. And then all of a sudden, Nikki comes out to the top of the stage with a microphone and a duck whistle, duck caller.
I could have sworn this was an ad for Duck Dynasty season 2 or
Yeah.
something. I didn't know what was
So we
going
just had
on
the
at
Wyatts
first.
out. Now we're going to do the duck call.
Yeah, we're getting the duck,
Like they need the
duck
ratings.
call. And the duck call distracts Natalya, and Brie gets the roll up and the win.
Yeah.
Quack, quack, Natty. Quack, quack.
Why do these stupid wrestlers always fall for the distractions and get every single time they turn? They're like, no, oh my God, I got pinned.
What the duck?
Maybe,
What the duck?
That was the word. Jerry, no, Jerry.
Don't do it.
Oh, you did it. Oh, what the duck. That was the worst line of the night by
When would
Jerry Lawler.
he had to jump on that though, because when would be the next time he could throw that
And
out
was
there?
he
Like,
told to
Been
say
waiting.
that?
I've been
Is that the
waiting
question? Was that
20,
Vince was
30
there?
years.
say what the duck. Say it. Say it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's funny.
It made me laugh. It made me laugh. Therefore, you should say it.
Yes.
It was better than whatever Michael Cole had something about. Not all she's quacked up to be, or something. He said some other thing that was just like womp
Cole.
womp.
Yeah.
So
JBL wouldn't have fallen for that stuff. Nope.
luckily, he was climbing Mount something.
Yeah.
You know, for charity.
Oh yeah, it was climbing one
For
of
the
like the
kids.
seven summits or something like
Mount
that.
Seven
Blanc.
summits.
Mount Blanc was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean JBL does a lot of great like charity work
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it's cool that he does that, and it's cool. I think it's cool to WWE to give him the time off to go do the things.
Yeah.
You know, so like, oh no, you don't have to be at the tapings this week.
Well, I don't know that he took time. He was doing that stuff before he came back.
Yeah, he's
so.
like, listen,
right, but he is doing it still.
Oh yeah,
now.
I mean I'm sure he came back and was like, I'm doing this thing, so when I'm off, I'm off. So
Yeah.
he was already doing the 7 summits, so I'm sure that was part of his deal that was written in.
They're getting a lot more flexible nowadays. I mean, with like the contracts,
Yes.
like Lesnar and
Triple H.
Jericho,
And that's Triple
yeah.
H. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all Triple
It's
H.
smart business, really.
It is.
It is.
Keep
You
your
have
guys
that-
happy.
Yeah, you have that. Well, you have that old school mentality of you need to be on the road every night and you need to be working, and you burn guys out faster that way. We've got a lot of these older guys now that have had their big runs. Let them go home for 6 months, hang out, come back, work less of a schedule, use their star power, promote the younger guys, help teach them. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very smart. It's a new school mentality. It's good stuff. that
Let
they're
the
doing.
Young Bucks do all the work, you know.
Yeah, the young Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks. Is that
Oh
what it
no,
is?
no, I wasn't thinking about that.
Really? You've been watching some Ring of Honor and PWG?
Yeah, the YouTube guys have been telling me to.
Rebel Network is going to be mad at you. You didn't know who the Young Bucks were.
Yes.
I'm kind of mad at you. You don't know who the Young Bucks are.
Yeah, you call their matches.
I
all
call
the
their
time.
matches at IWL all the time.
Let's have a fight
Yes.
after this.
We're gonna
Yes,
brawl.
let's have a fight.
I've had one training session. Watch out.
Oh, I got to get both of you in the ring. We'll videotape it.
That would be entertaining. That's a battle of bad versus worse right there. I will play the role of worse.
Josh actually was rolling pretty well, though.
But that's why I'm saying I'll be the role of worse,
But you
because I'm
might-
sure you're more athletic than I am.
You can probably bump better than he can, though. So
A little bit. Actually, it was the funny thing with me. Like, if I went through training, I was terrible at bumping in practice. But like at a show, if I had to take a bump, yeah, all of a sudden I took them no problem in shows, but I can't do it in practice.
Yeah. Had an audience.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know.
It's your theatrical side again.
It's the theatrical side.
yeah, because sometimes in front of an audience, you're like, screw it. I'm just
going.
I'm going because I don't want to look dumb.
yeah.
I'm just land on my head. Screw it. Screw my vertebrae.
Apparently, I take super kicks very well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Curtis Axel versus R-Truth. Let's go over that now. Paul Heyman comes out with a microphone and is like, my client's opponent is known as R-Truth, and it's funny that his name is R-Truth because R-Truth is that I'm the most exclusive manager, agent, and advocate in the history of the WWE. Take, for example, my client, Brock Lesnar.
See, he said in sports entertainment, didn't he? Did
he say sports entertainment?
I think so, which is a much broader
That's true.
avenue because you got WCW and all those days, too.
ECW.
Yeah, I was just watching some of his old school stuff. That's why that made me think of that. But yeah, he is. I think he's number 2 all time manager. Bobby's the only one.
Bobby.
I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to argue against that. It really is.
And I mean, if you want to argue that Paul was number 1, Bobby never promoted. Bobby,
Bobby never ran his own promotion.
Paul created a lot of careers. Owes a lot of people money, but created a lot of careers.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's still some guys that are around WWE that start. I mean,
Right.
RVD, Jericho,
And he was the best at taking what he had and accentuating strengths and hiding weaknesses. He could take a guy that could be terrible and make him a star almost because he said, "Oh, you do this really great. We're just going to hide everything else you can't do."
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons he's the greatest.
It was actually funny because I've been on this big kick the last several days where I've been like watching the old seasons of Tough Enough.
Oh, I love going back.
And like I was watching like season 1 where it was like some footage of Austin like just talking with the guys.
They give a lot more away in those earlier seasons.
Yes,
too.
they do.
They give a lot of secrets away.
And Austin kind of brings up Paul Heyman, because when he left WCW, went to ECW, Paul Heyman was he's talking about, like, he's the first guy to actually really let me try to cut a promo and give me a microphone. He's like, we filmed everything the same night, so those promos that I did, we shot them at like 4:30 in the morning because I was waiting my turn, but he gave me a turn, like he let me do it, and I mean, Paul Heyman's responsible for letting Austin come out of his shell.
Yeah.
How about that?
So.
And now he's trying to do that with
Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
Who I found out tonight.
I'm liking better and better every time I see him. I liked his promo tonight. It was better.
Yeah, and who knew he could be more perfect than perfect?
More perfect than perfect.
Awesome.
Yes. Which TV show I worked on called Assume the Position with Robert Wool. Robert Wool talks about the Constitution and talking about a more perfect union. There's no such thing. You're either perfect or you're not. There's no such thing as more perfect. You can't be more perfect than perfect. It's impossible.
So this match, kind of your typical glorified squash match is mainly there to make Axel look good. But right after Axel hits his finisher, Punk runs down and grabs Axel, throws him out of the ring, starts beating them down because he wants to get to Heyman, but there's no bell.
He cost R-Truth the match.
Ref doesn't say anything. This match just suddenly stops.
Maybe they announced something on the app. They seem to be doing that a bit.
I don't know how to use the app. They won't tell me.
It doesn't work for us.
They don't give us clear instructions on how to download the app.
Would someone tell me?
No, there's an issue because we watch
on the West Coast
feed, and we're on the West Coast, so it's blocked for us. So unfortunately, we cannot get the app.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Wish I'd known that.
If you check the app right now, it's probably running because
you probably have everything you need on there right now
on the West Coast.
Perfect. So yeah, he cost R-Truth the match.
He technically. Well,
Winner by disqualification, Curtis Axel.
Well, R-Truth was about to be pinned anyway, but still.
How dare you?
How dare he?
R-Truth is really on a roll right now.
and
I really thought he was going to kick out of his finisher there. I really did.
Supposedly, they tried Axel out as babyface this weekend on house shows or a house show, and that it went over really well. That he did really
How will we
good
do
as a
that with
babyface.
Heyman with him?
I don't know, maybe Heyman wasn't out with him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I heard they put him in as babyface. I forget who he worked, but supposedly he had a great match, and they said he went over really well as a babyface.
Interesting.
I haven't really gotten behind Curtis Axel yet.
I haven't either yet.
There's nothing there for me. There's no substance. He just is Heyman's new guy, but he himself isn't really doing a lot for me. I don't know. There's not.
He's great in the ring.
I mean,
he
he's
great in the ring.
I'm liking him better though week to week.
The mic work is getting better.
Yeah, I haven't bought into it yet, but I'm buying it more today than I did 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I haven't bought it yet. I'm not completely sold, but I'm better with it. That 4 weeks ago, I'd have been I don't know. He's getting better. I see improvements in him getting more comfortable, which isn't him improving really, because the guy's been wrestling. I forget how many years. It's been a while. It's just him getting more in tune with this character and what role he has for this. So he's getting better.
I think he needs to stay away from the more perfect than perfect. I don't know if he needs to
that line's not very good.
Yeah.
Just alluding to one of the best wrestlers. I don't know. It's hard for me to be like, well, you're actually not. But it's just hard to compare yourself to.
I've said this before, but it's funny. I saw his dad's documentary, and he talks about how he ran away from anything his dad. He didn't want to have anything to do with Larry the Axe, and now it's the opposite.
Right.
And that's not his fault. I'm sure it's WWE and the writers going, oh, we need the capture on it. And if I was a writer, I'd be doing the same thing.
Maybe that's why he went with McGillicuddy for so long.
Why not?
That wasn't his choice.
Why not say something along the lines of I'm the definition of perfection? Or something like that, instead of more perfect than perfect.
Right.
That just that doesn't work.
And the question is, how much do they let him go off on these things? Is he one of those guys that they're like, you need to say this exactly as they were written, or is it someone like some of the other guys who are given more of a bullet point? So maybe he's being forced to say those lines specifically that way.
If anything, you'd think Heyman was in his ear. At least giving him some good material.
I'm sure Heyman has some input on that.
And he's probably got, I'm sure Heyman has way more carte blanche just to go off it. He's the best promo guy out there, him and Punk right now.
But so that match ends with Punk attacking Axel on the outside, trying to get to Heyman. Heyman trying to escape over the barricade. Punk gets his hands on him, but then Axel gets back to his feet, starts clubbing a little bit. Punk shoves him off again, but Heyman at that point was able to hightail out of there.
The walrus is a slippery one.
He's a slippery walrus. He is. You got the zingers, man. You're the zinger
He
guy.
is.
I like it. I like it.
And he's got the greatest Twitter handle of all time.
I've heard of it. I can't wait for him to just say it again at the end.
It's phenomenal.
Because it is kind of awesome. Oh, guys. Oh, you guys. American males. Backstage with Triple H and Vince McMahon. Triple H kind of, just furious at Vince. Like, are you done jerking Dan O'Brien around? Had him go through 3 guys last week. Kane tonight. What are you trying to do with him? And Vince's like, maybe I'm using reverse psychology here. Maybe I really want Dan O'Brien to win. And Triple H is like, no, you don't. That's ridiculous.
You're right. I want someone like you.
I want someone like only 20 years younger.
23 years younger.
23 years younger. And then Steph comes over. And
Was there? I wonder if
it was his birthday today. I think was Triple H's birthday.
Was it? And I was wondering if there's anything special about the 23 years younger. If there was any little inside joke or anything.
Yeah. Well, I think Triple H. I want to say maybe he turned 43 or something like that. So kind of like
Maybe,
I want a 20-year-old to be the guy feuding with Cena.
Yeah, let's see.
Go ahead and look up and see how old Triple H is.
Only there was a way to look it up.
Well, we don't have Kathy here looking at a chat roll because I'm sure there's about 30 responses saying, he's this age.
43. we should be having the chat roll.
Oh well.
Sorry guys.
Oh well. I'm sure they're only saying lovely things.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Because they love me in place of Kathy, I'm sure.
You look like her from the side.
Don't I?
Yeah.
Don't I? Thank you.
Yeah, not now.
Not now. Now?
There it is.
Now?
44.
44. So he wants a
today.
21-year-old.
Yeah.
It's 21-year-old.
Perfect.
There you go.
He wants a drinking buddy.
Yeah, I guess so. Got to be of legal age to drink.
Yes. To go on the road and go in all those bars.
But can't rent the car.
No, they got to be 25 to rent a car.
Yep.
Stephanie eventually comes in there and is like, maybe Dan O'Brien, he might just need like a little help. How about we give him a corporate makeover? Yeah, the beard. Do you think the beard can go?
No. Oh man, that's what they're going to try to get.
They're
going to try to. He's got a T-shirt.
You got a T-shirt.
They can go right back to the other T-shirt.
Those buddy things with the beard.
Yeah, he's got the
They're going to try to go for that beard though.
They're going to go for the beard, man. Like haircut. Maybe a haircut, but then he might draw the line at the beard.
Was it our friend Raven, I think, that sent this message saying it should be Shawn Michaels and...
Shawn Michaels has a beard out to here now.
Beard versus beard, Shawn Michaels, Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Teacher versus student, beard versus beard.
There you go.
It'll be awesome.
So we shall see what takes place maybe next week with the corporate makeover that they're going to give Dan O'Brien. Maybe have him come out in the suit and everything. We shall see.
Can we sign up for corporate maovers while they're at it?
I would like that.
I love corporate.
I mean, Josh already looks corporate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the jacket.
I'm totally corporate.
suit.
these
Oh,
days.
clearly. Clearly, you're corporate.
I was corporate.
Main event of the evening, tables match between John Cena and Ryback.
Wait, it was a tables match?
I don't know
How
if
did
you knew
know?
that. There was only about 97 tables along the stage and ramp.
Oh, that was
like
for the match?
I thought it was for catering.
They had a maze to get to the ring through tables. It was hilarious.
It was. It's like the maze from The Shining, but with tables instead of bushes. Wouldn't it be funny if it was amazing they couldn't find their way to the ring and like, I can't get over there.
The table's in the way. I can't get there.
You come over here. Damn maze.
I actually felt we saw more charisma out of Ryback than we normally do in this match. Like he was mocking the fans. He was mocking Cena a lot. He was like, "Come on, Cena!" Like he was.
Love it.
He's on a roll, man.
I like this.
He was very heel tonight.
I like this whole I'm a bigger animal and I enjoy making people scared.
Yeah.
I get off on scaring the crap out of you because I'm big and I'm dominant and haha, I'm a bully.
Yeah.
I think it's great for him. He did a lot more with that, with the table thing, with the guy in the mashed potatoes in the ears tonight.
Yep.
It was tuna.
It was tuna. Okay, whatever.
Very different.
Oh, yeah. It was nasty.
They were putting
so much more
tuna
nasty.
on white bread, and they had some chips.
That's not good.
That is all they had.
That's all you need.
Listen, that's a buffet at my house, so you're getting pretty judgmental there.
Oh,
Jeez.
I apologize. I haven't been invited over for the lunch buffet
Well, with
at
that
Dale's.
attitude, you're not going to.
I wish I could have seen like the PA arguing with the people at catering, trying to. No, I need stuff to set up for the shy. No, you get nothing. Get out of here. No, but please.
Just give me a few pieces of chicken.
Yeah,
I just need a few.
Table and a little stuff to set up, please.
Get out of my kitchen.
Give me like just like a six pack of generic soda. Come on.
So back to the one stage of hell match.
Stage 2 of the 3 stages of hell match on Raw from 2 months ago. There were some unique spots though, like with them setting up the tables, and I mean there was a point where Ryback tried to physically throw a table into like the ring post on the Cena, and it kind of snapped it himself. And then when Cena threw the table down at Ryback,
cool.
like when Ryback crawled under the ring.
Yeah. And that was dangerous.
That was very dangerous.
Ryback had to be under the ring by that point. He was like halfway under. He's just like, ah!
Yeah.
And I mean,
Neat's jousting moment with the steps.
yeah, we're gonna get to that with because they had kind of like the standoff because there was a table blocking the two of them, and they're like, who's gonna go first?
I'll stare you.
Yeah,
No,
and
I'll
then
stare you.
Ryback grabs like the stairs and breaks the table. So then they both had the stairs, and they throw them. Thank God the stairs hit each other, because if they missed, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, because they were right next to the crowd.
Yeah. I can't imagine it would be very easy to miss. They're not. I mean, yes, those are heavy, but they're not too far from each other. It's like they're large pieces of metal. They're gonna hit. You have to get pretty bad aim to miss from that.
But I mean, if one of them, say Ryback threw it harder than Cena, and it just hit at just the odd angle,
fired.
Deflect.
Yeah, and get fired.
I was afraid that they were gonna run towards each other and smash into them, and then like fingers.
Me too. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Yep.
And there was one other cool spot I wanted to make sure I mentioned. Didn't have to do with a table though, where Cena locked in the STF, and Ryback. He's kind of like reaching for the ropes, but obviously there's no submission in a tables match. So Ryback continues to crawl under the ropes, which then causes Cena, while locking in, his neck is up against the rope and choking him. So he has to let go of the hold to relieve himself from the choke.
That was all cool,
That was a great little spot. And then the match ends with Ryback putting the table up on the turnbuckle. Counter, Cena, attitude adjustment through the table, and Cena victorious.
And you see Ryback crawling through the rubble and like all those 90 tables that are while Daniel Bryan's coming down. He's like, let me get out of here, like a stagehand. Like, I'm gonna get out of the way.
And then, while Cena's kind of getting back up, getting ready to celebrate, Daniel Bryan skips on down, takes the title from the timekeeper as he's getting ready to hand it to Cena. And instead it's like, maybe he's going to hand the title to Cena himself.
I like this, actually.
Yeah. He was like going to hand it, and he's like, nope. This is going to be mine at SummerSlam or something like that. And then
this is what I like is when Cena takes it back from
snatches
him.
it back.
Yeah, just snatch it. Like, hey, this ain't yours.
Like, you have to earn this. Like that right there makes that title more important. You know, like, no, you got to earn this, and it makes Daniel Bryan act like he really wants it. So that whole little segment right there elevated the title, and I like that.
Absolutely.
What's y'all's money on at this point? Who do you think goes out of SummerSlam?
Gotta go Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
Gotta be.
Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton cashes right in.
Yep.
Boom. Yep. Holds the title for 30 seconds.
That'd be so sad.
Yeah.
And then you build. Then Orton's the heel. You build Daniel Bryan, Orton.
And maybe McMahon is managing Orton or something like that. Maybe McMahon walks on Randy, kind of like when he sent Del Rio after Punk that time, and Del Rio was successful Money in the Bank.
Triple H with Daniel Bryan, McMahon with Orton.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's I guess it would make more sense at SummerSlam battle or WrestleMania battle for the company, but you could lead to that.
I mean, it could start to build up all the way to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense to do that until Mania, though, the battle for the company.
Right.
Yeah. You'd have to pay off there.
I like that.
Then I'm picking Cena, you marks.
You're wearing a CM Punk t-shirt right now.
Yeah, you can't say
Yeah.
You got the bright yellow GTS shirt on, and you're calling us the marks.
And I actually wrestle.
and I commentate.
Well,
I mean, you noticed tonight the kids in the Cena T-shirts when Bryan looked at the crowd and said, "The people want a new WWE champion."
Yes.
They were saying yes.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
So
forecast.
People want
says
Daniel
Bryan.
Bryan. He's the hottest thing in wrestling right now.
And if you have
People
Randy
want
Orton come out there and kill it, Yes, that's so good.
Oh, the heat would
That's
be-
the instant heel.
And then
That's your
Orton-
instant
Orton
heel
is-
right there.
Yeah, I love it.
He's
Instant
so
top
good as a heel.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
And then, well,
sorry.
you know what would make sense? That Daniel Bryan gets the title. Yeah, Orton steals it, and now, he's got to chase it again. He had it, but and then if he can finally win it from Orton, then it means something. This guy, it's been slipping out of his fingers, and he finally gets it. That would be awesome.
And you can have those
you can
snakes.
you can build a great
you can have
story.
the snake side plates.
and
build a
you
great
could
story.
and you could pretty much build like the classic McMahon Austin story where Daniel Bryan, he's not getting like the fair title shot, wins the Rumble, guaranteed his shot at Mania.
Right.
That's when they
Yeah.
do it properly, but it could be another Ziggler where he gets it and then it's just kaputs. Like this is basically
Or
what
it could be
happened
that.
with Del Rio
It could
and
be
Ziggler.
that.
I just get worried when they
Or he could win it clean and then like a couple weeks later just on Raw or something like that, Orton
I was
comes out
saying
and does it.
Have him win it at SummerSlam, have him immediately lose it to Orton, and then have him chase it till WrestleMania and finally win it at Mania. It's been slipping through his fingers every chance for the last 9 months. He finally gets it, and then you give him the big run with it.
Right.
And he should be over in every show. I mean, he's already over, but he'll be huge. It'll be a great story.
Supernova, if that happened.
It would. But we still got a few weeks before SummerSlam to talk about that, but we need to wrap it up for this week.
so. Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys this week for Raw.
Yes.
So in the meantime, with the real American theme, up until you see us or hear us next time, Ryan Clum, how can people reach out to you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cluminator, or you can find me on Facebook as well. I have a Ryan Morals fan page. You can find me on Facebook if you're not on Twitter.
There you go.
You can find me at Showtime Josh on Twitter, and on Tuesdays, IconicEyeTV.com.
All
Right
right.
on Rice.
Dale, your Twitter, please.
Yes, sir. You can always find me at The Walking Dale on Twitter.
Greatest Twitter ever. The Walking Dale.
I also have a YouTube show every week on youtube.com/dishingonmovies.
All right, and you could follow me on Twitter at CRosieVOC. I also host a WWE Main Event AfterBuzz on Wednesday nights, and now I hang out along with Josh and the other half of White and Rice Corey for Total Divas AfterBuzz. So make sure you check that out as well.
Nice.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. For Ryan, Josh, and Dale, I'm Christian Rosenberg. See you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.